What if I told you that your power to attract a man, any man, has nothing to do with your looks, your clothes, or even what you say? That real, irresistible attraction comes from something far deeper, something psychological. Carl Jung, one of the founding fathers of modern psychology, spent his life exploring the inner world of human behavior. And what he uncovered is game-changing. He believed that certain inner traits, not surface-level tricks, hold the key to real magnetism, not fake confidence, not manipulation, but authentic, deeply rooted feminine power. So if you're tired of asking, why doesn't he chase me? Or why do they always leave? This is for you. Because once you understand these traits, you'll stop chasing attention and start attracting it, naturally. Let's dive in. 1. Deep self-awareness. Magnetic women know who they are. They're not confused. They don't shapeshift to fit in. They walk into a room and own their space, not because they're loud, but because they're grounded. Carl Jung called this process individuation, becoming your full, true self. A self-aware woman understands her values, her boundaries, her desires. That's rare, and rare is attractive. When you're deeply self-aware, people feel it. Men feel it. You're not reacting, you're choosing. You're not needy, you're secure. You become the calm in the chaos. And that calmness, that's magnetic. Start building this trait by spending time alone. Journal, reflect, ask, who am I when no one's watching? Because knowing who you are is the first step to making anyone want to know you more. 2. Emotional intelligence. We've all seen the opposite. Drama, overreactions, constant anxiety. It pushes people away. But emotional intelligence, it pulls them in. This means you can feel your emotions without being ruled by them. You can sense other people's moods. You respond rather than react. Jung believed the emotional side of the psyche was just as powerful as the rational. And women who know how to ride their emotional waves without drowning in them are captivating. Why? Because they create safety. Men don't consciously think, wow, she has high emotional intelligence. But they feel it. You don't blame. You don't lash out. You speak with calm. You listen with empathy. You're aware of your own emotional state, and that awareness is so rare, it shines. Here's the truth. Emotional intelligence is quiet power. It's the ability to stand strong in a storm, and that's what makes a man want to stay. 3. Mystery and depth. Let's be honest. Too much exposure kills attraction. Jung was fascinated by the unconscious mind, what's hidden, what's beneath the surface. He believed that what we don't show is just as powerful as what we do. Magnetic women don't reveal everything. They have layers. They leave space for curiosity. They are open, but not predictable. You don't have to fake anything. You just have to stop oversharing. Save some of your soul for yourself. This doesn't mean being cold or playing games. It means you let people earn deeper access to you, piece by piece. There's something wildly attractive about a woman who holds back just enough that you want to know more. She's not unreadable, she's just not easily figured out. And in a world that overshares constantly, that kind of mystery feels special. Start nurturing this by pausing before you speak. Ask yourself, do I really need to say this? Or is silence more powerful? Remember, mystery isn't about hiding. It's about revealing, slowly, with intention. 4. Purpose and inner drive. A woman with a sense of direction is powerful. Carl Jung believed that the human psyche naturally moves toward growth and meaning, what he called the self. And when a woman taps into that, when she knows who she is and where she's going, people feel it. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to be wildly successful. But when you have passion, when you're lit up by something, you shine. Purpose gives you presence. Men are drawn to women who aren't waiting around for someone to give their life meaning. It's magnetic to witness someone in motion, someone who's building, creating, pursuing. This could be anything: writing, healing, business, art, helping others, even a spiritual path. It doesn't matter what the purpose is. It matters that it's real and alive in you. Purpose shows that your world doesn't revolve around being chosen. It revolves around becoming. And that energy? That's the difference between attraction and attachment. Start building this trait by asking, what makes me lose track of time? Or, what would I still be doing even if no one watched? Then pursue it, even quietly. You don't need to shout your purpose, just walk in it. People will feel it. 5. Self-respect and boundaries. This is big, and it's the trait most often skipped. Self-respect means you know your worth, and you act like it. You don't chase, you don't beg, you don't stay where you're not valued. Carl Jung taught that wholeness requires acknowledging both light and shadow. A woman who respects herself doesn't hide her needs or silence her voice to keep peace. She sets boundaries, not walls, but clear lines. Because she knows anyone who crosses those lines doesn't belong in her life. Here's the secret. Boundaries don't push people away. They filter people. Low-quality men might leave, but the right ones will respect you even more. Magnetic women don't overgive to prove their value. They give with intention. They don't tolerate disrespect because they don't have to. Building this trait starts with small acts. Say no when you mean no. Speak up when something feels wrong. And remind yourself daily that walking away is strength, not failure. When you respect yourself, others learn to do the same. And that quiet power, that's what makes people chase you. Not because you demand it, but because they know they'd be lucky to stay. 6. Feminine energy and presence. Let's talk about energy, not just actions, but the vibe you give off. Carl Jung explored the balance between masculine and feminine energies. Both exist in every person, regardless of gender. Feminine energy is receptive, creative, intuitive, magnetic. It doesn't chase, it attracts. It's not about being passive. It's about flow. It's about being deeply connected to the present moment. A woman who's grounded in her feminine doesn't try to prove her worth with constant doing. She allows. She receives. She feels fully. And that kind of presence, it's unforgettable. You've felt it before. Someone who walks into a room and immediately softens the energy around her, not by force, not by loudness, but by her being. She's not in a rush. She's not anxious. She's simply there. And that stillness creates pull. How do you cultivate this? Spend time in nature. Breathe deeply. Dance, move, feel your body. Listen to your intuition. Practice stillness, softness, and surrender, not as weakness, but as power. Feminine energy isn't about gender roles, it's about balance. And when you lean into this energy, you stop chasing love, because love naturally finds you. Jung believed that true harmony comes when we integrate both our masculine drive and feminine flow. So don't dim your light trying to be low maintenance or easygoing. Be fully alive, fully expressive, and fully you. Because feminine energy, when owned with confidence, is one of the most attractive forces on earth. 7. Playfulness and humor. Let's be real. Life can get heavy. So when someone comes along who brings lightness, joy, and laughter, it's a breath of fresh air. Carl Jung described the child archetype as a powerful symbol of renewal, innocence, and creativity. Playfulness isn't childish, it's a deep psychological strength. A woman who can laugh, who doesn't take herself too seriously, is incredibly attractive. Not because she's trying to entertain, but because her energy is free. Playfulness shows emotional flexibility. It says, I can be real, but I can also let go and enjoy the moment. Men are naturally drawn to this, not to immaturity, but to light. It feels safe. It feels alive. You don't need to be a comedian. Just let your sense of humor come through. Tease playfully. Smile often. Break the tension. If you can be both deep and light, both wise and playful, you become unforgettable, because at the end of the day, people might forget what you wore or even what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. 8. Authentic vulnerability. There's nothing more magnetic than a woman who isn't afraid to be real. Carl Jung believed in embracing the whole self, not just the polished parts, but also the wounded, the uncertain, the messy. This is where vulnerability comes in, not oversharing, not dumping emotions, but showing up honestly without masks. When a woman says, I don't have it all together, but I'm here anyway, that takes courage. And that courage is magnetic. We live in a world full of filters and performance. So realness, it cuts through all the noise. Vulnerability builds connection faster than perfection ever could, because people aren't looking for flawless, they're looking for human. Want to be more vulnerable? Start by naming what's real. I felt nervous before this. I don't know the answer, but I'm figuring it out. This matters to me more than I want to admit. It's in those moments that people lean in, not because you're perfect, but because you're honest. And when you can be open without losing your power, people can't help but feel pulled toward you. 9. Intuition and inner wisdom. Jung placed intuition at the core of his personality theory. He believed it was a vital function of the psyche, just as important as thinking or sensing. Magnetic women trust their gut. They don't need constant advice. They're not spinning in confusion. They tune into their inner wisdom, and it shows. This kind of woman walks into a situation and reads the energy. She doesn't second-guess herself constantly. She knows when something feels off, and she knows when it's right. Men are drawn to this quiet confidence, not arrogance, but clarity. You don't have to explain your every decision. When you trust yourself, others begin to trust you too. Start building this trait by practicing stillness. When something's unclear, don't rush. Go inward. Ask, what do I feel beneath the noise? That inner voice? That's your edge. And when you honor your intuition, you show the world and yourself that your wisdom is worth following. 10. Passionate aliveness. This final trait is the heartbeat of all the others. It's what Jung called individuation, the fully lived life. A woman who is alive with passion is magnetic because she's in full bloom. It could be music, movement, nature, learning, creating, traveling, speaking your truth, laughing till you cry. Whatever it is, when your eyes light up, when your soul is lit, people notice. Magnetic women aren't coasting, they're living. And that kind of energy is contagious. This doesn't mean being on all the time. It means saying yes to life. It means chasing what fuels you, not what drains you. Jung believed that joy, creativity, and meaning were central to our psychological health. When you tap into what makes you feel alive, you stop needing others to complete you. And ironically, that's when people start chasing you. So if there's one trait to nurture above all, it's this. Find what brings you to life and do more of it. Because passion isn't just attractive, it's magnetic. Help us by liking the video and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this.